on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coats. Oh no, I can't.
The NFL is on EA Sports, and we are in Silicon Valley at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room, and we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22. Yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Like it, 56, right there, 56. Here we go.
Now a man who played collegiately here in the Golden State, Rashad Penny. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know the fans are thinking right now, I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
I got you. Check, hot route. Hot. Check.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. He was taken down by Cassius Marsh.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here we go.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
That's what I do.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Here we go.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down.
Give me that
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. What do you need? We're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Check.
On second down, it's Coleman. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
A 40-yard attempt.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this will remain a scoreless game.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10.
Pick me up. Here we go.
Wilson going to throw again. He sets to fire deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Now, to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline, and now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
25, check 25, check 25. Pilot, 64, weak.
On second down, it's Coleman. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Here we go.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good.
Here we go.
They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
First and 10 at the 40.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. A great job there, Charles, just to hold on, absorb that contact. I guess that's the risk you take catching the ball toward the middle of the field.
It is, and if you're going to gain yardage, you're going to have to go there at some point. But how about the read, okay? The eyes of that play, stepping out from the middle of the field and really making a big hit. Did not get free.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, 49ers. Deebo Samuel, 55 yards. And the Niners have taken the early lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9, from the receivers. That meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. It's caught right side, Dixon. Call that a gain of 11. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you wonder, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Here's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. 20. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Now that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Fair catch, made at the 25-yard line. The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. Getting the sack, the 227-pound linebacker, Quan Alexander.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Wilson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28 with a sack. It's Ziggy Ansah.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Now the Georgia Southern man, this is Jerick McKinnon. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. He needed 3, he got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash, this from 33. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. DeForest Buckner. What an effort from him on that play. Big tackle for a loss of 11. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now Wilson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one, much more like lead.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th with Wilson. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Niners take over in terrific field position.
That's one, Omaha.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So he can't hang on. And as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know. But you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all.
Here we go.
Way easier said than done.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
11.
2nd down, McKinnon trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Here we go.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Ezekiel Ansah picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL.
And now here is another interception. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
In your face. Hey, alert! Alert! Alert!
They'll try with McKinnon, and he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. It's a 3-yard touchdown run, and the 49ers add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those can be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Gold with the extra point, and the rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
What? 56. Check 56. Coming to you. Coming to you. What?
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He lets it fly for Lockett, and that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Now Wilson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. D4 gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now. They'll indeed go for it with Wilson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the safety, WiiLDCARD. And he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.